Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is a top tier match of Terran versus Protoss. This game was recently played as part of Home Story Cup 20, and after the tournament wrapped up, this match right here was determined to be the game of the event. Now, I was there as one of the commentators myself as well. I just got back from Berlin, where this tournament was played a couple of days ago. As you may have already noticed, my voice is still a little bit hoarse. I'm getting over a little bit of sickness, which usually happens right after an event like this. I had an absolute blast, and while I casted as many games as I could, I was not actually one of the commentators for this match right here. I am aware, of course, of the ending of it, but I did not quite look into specifics just yet. And considering we went live for like 60 hours over the course of like 4 days, I can imagine a lot of you have not seen this game just yet either. So let's have a deep dive and let's see what this game is all about. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of Ephemeron, playing with the red Protoss probes from South Korea, we're looking inside of the main base of PartinG. I can't zoom in. Ah, there we go. I can zoom in again. His opponent. Whoa. Okay, I forgot about your clan tag, PartinG. Okay, I forgot about that. His opponent in the opposite corner with the blue Terran pieces, we have none other than Cure. Likewise, also, of course, from South Korea. So both of these players are at the very tippity top of the skill level in SC2. As you guys know, I think that Cure is one of the most underrated pro gamers in StarCraft. He's one of the very best in the world, a stock standard macro player, and he's extremely good at just simply making a lot of stuff, making the right calls, and eventually out-controlling and out-macroing his opponents. Now, PartinG is kind of on the other end of that spectrum. I think at the very least, once upon a time, we could have said that he's got the best micro in the world, and at the very least recently, it's once again looked absolutely ridiculous. This guy is super good at just simply controlling a lot of stuff, and he likes playing cheeky builds. Now, speaking of cheeky builds, Mr. Probe. Okay. Where are you going? Where are you going? Alrighty. So PartinG loves playing hyper aggressively. It always feels like he can pull a rabbit out of a hat, especially with like Stalkers and Prism Micro and all that. He can do some ridiculous tricks. So we'll see what he can get out of this game right here. If you watch his stream quite a bit, you may be aware he's definitely also a bit of a memester. But he does so while playing at like the highest level in SC2. It's pretty ridiculous. He takes games with really silly builds off of like the best players in the world. So we'll see what this game will bring for him. Cure right now scouting around, trying to figure out what is happening. Probably wants to see if there's like a second gas as well. He sees the second adept. That's pretty much all he needs to know. Or the second, yeah, he sees the second adept and also the second gas. That's pretty much all he needs to know. He probably won't find any tech structures here, but just by seeing the second gas though, he can kind of determine that something is not quite right. Plus, of course, going up against PartinG. The thing is, PartinG is not going to take double gases and then not build anything, right? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. So the Stargate is already going up right here on the other side of the map. This is very close to the natural of the Terran player. Yeah, you can see right here, Cure is trying to figure out if maybe there is something located here. Or maybe, actually, he's just trying to send that Hellion straight across the map. 2 adepts immediately ran across. Oracle right now being chrono boosted out as well. The adepts are trying to shade in and actually, ooh, Cure did not raise those depots in time. That does mean that they managed to get in. At the same time, the Hellion made their way across the map. Oh my god, that's gonna hurt a little bit as well. We do see some micro over here. A couple of SCVs do get picked off. Ooh, don't line them all up at once, because that does mean that that fire is ridiculous. 6 probes go down in the blink of an eye. Good micro there by Cure, who eventually get rid of all of these adepts as well. Oracle, though, made its way across, and it's currently busy zapping away right there at the command center, wasting a little bit of energy. Cure, with some excellent defense. Yeah, he loses 4 of those SCVs. Yeah, he did not raise the depot in time, but he still managed to get a lot of kills right there on the other side of the map. So a very explosive first couple of minutes of this game. Right now, though, I think that the aggression should be settled down quite a bit. I mean, where are you going to transition right here if you are the Protoss? Apparently, he's going to add on a couple of those Stargates. He's going to transition also now into, I guess, a Phoenix? What are you going to do with the Phoenix? Yeah, there's a second Oracle here, but they didn't actually get that many kills. I guess he just tries to get rid of this Viking right over here. Wow, that Viking actually sleeping on the job. Looks like there was actually still a little bit of damage here on the other side of the map. Once again, 2 probes going down, but nothing all too crazy. Cure, though, getting himself the Cyclone upgrade. Cyclone already patrolling the perimeter here. It knows that there's likely gonna be a unit coming up here in a sec. I guess what you can do is lift that thing up and kill it. Nicely done. Love that little micro trick. So basically that shuts down the cooldown of that lift up ability. Couple of units do go down. At the same time though, ooh, the Viking flew all the way across the map and it landed. Now Vikings two-shot workers. Look at that! They're actually lethal. They're actually really sick. He's looking for one more. Sadly did not quite get that final one. At the same time though, there's still some micro over here on the other side of the map. Ooh, both players trying to out-control each other. But I don't think anyone here in particular is winning at this point. A lot of damage is done. Well, obviously there's a lot more kills here for Cure, but I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things, right, at the amount of workers available right now, it's not out of the ordinary here, right? It's not like PartinG is in an absolutely unwinnable position at this point in the game. Nice bit of control once again, though, but the Phoenix does go down, and with that, I think that this aggression will likely be shut down as well. His unit's actually in a bit of a weird spot. I guess he could try and make a beeline straight east, but he's just simply going to recall them and try and get them back to safety at home. Now, the main issue right now is not so much that worker count, right? The main issue right now is whether or not PartinG can hold on to a third base. Normally, in TVP, we have the Protoss player out-expending Terran quite hard, right? However, in this game, Cure is going to be able to get a lot of pressure in, as a lot of resources were spent right now by PartinG to try and rebuild his economy, right? So the third base goes up right now, but obviously this is something that Cure wants. He really wants to try and see if he can deal some damage here. So he's trying to push at the same time while also floating a medevac all the way across the map. Robotics facility coming up here as well, so we will see that transition from PartinG in just a little bit. Nice bit of control so far though. Getting this medevac would be massive. This does now open up the opportunity. Looks like he's sacrificing it, yeah. This does now open up the opportunity for the rest of the Terran army to go on over to the third base. And with all of the Stalkers stuck in the main, Blink not done just yet, I think that the third base is going to be picked up here in just a second. Cancel has been forced. At the same time though, these Oracles once again going to town in the mineral line. 10 SCVs were killed there in the blink of an eye. And actually, you know what? I'm starting to like this position more and more here for PartinG, right? Both workers, or both players have lost so many workers here. It's actually pretty ridiculous. Now these Stalkers are going to be able to pick up a couple of these units on the retreat. There you go, and this is where that micro can really come into play. Oh my god. Finally a missile turret finishes, so I guess that's going to allow these Oracles to be cleaned up a little bit nicer. But look at this. The blink is insanely good here. PartinG picks up like 10 of those Marines while they're trying to walk home. Once again, resecures the third base and now transitions towards a robotics bay. In the meantime though, Cure is just simply macroing up, right? He's got himself the third command center coming up as well. He does have a good amount of upgrades. Ooh, that force field. Ooh, second force field. Really well done. That now allows him to indeed pick up one of those units. At the same time, once again, another Viking now joined the fray. He's going to try and see if he can pick up a couple of workers too. So far though, while, yeah, it's going to be hard to leave the base. I love that actually too. I think that this army will be deflected. So the force fields obviously were negating a lot of that movement here. But Cure just simply lifted up the command center and managed to get those units out. Now it does cost them a bunch of mining time. But now we do have that third command center here secured as well for the Terran player. He's going to have to repair this eventually too. It's kind of burning. A little, nah, it's not quite burning. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Anyways, look at these Vikings. How many kills were here by Vikings, actually? It's pretty sick. Once again, well, no, it won't get out. I was going to say, once again, it might be able to fly away, but with more Stalkers warped in, it is going to be able to get to safety there as well. All right. So, very aggressive play here from both players. But you know what? Right now, I think we are transitioning towards a pretty standard mid-game. We've got the Terran player focusing. Oh, I like it. Oh my god, dude, he's so aggressive with those Stalkers. I mean, how's he gonna get out? Oh, he just recalls them. Okay. I was gonna say, this looks like a pretty standard mid-game right now. Both players building up their mid-game unit compositions based around like Stalkers and I guess a couple of Colossi as well. Not really a lot of Storm or you know, any kind of like Zealot play here at this point. Obviously, the Zealot was changed. They're much, much faster right now. Terran though going for that Marine Marauder Medivac based army. A couple of Cyclones that were left over from the earlier part of the game as well. Probably won't continue building those here. Here's the thing though, there's still that Prism. Yeah, exactly, like the Prism is still on this side of the map. Once again, a drop inside of the main base is going to distract PartinG for a little while. He's now unloading Zealots here in the middle line, but this one looks like it will be cleaned up as well. In the meantime though, It looks like this drop will likely be killed too. If he blinks forward, there it is. Target's fires down the Medivac. One of the Stalkers there still finds his grave, but Kjær was busy walking all of his units back home. I think he could have actually potentially done a little bit of counterattack aggression here at the third. Doesn't want to risk it though. I mean, Sentries and Colossus, they require a lot of babysitting. You need to make sure that you, do not just attack move in there. Shield battery's coming up here, and that looks to me like PartinG taking a defensive position. He doesn't do so all too often. I mean, as you may have already noticed, he loves being in your face. Very difficult to do, by the way, right? Because when you're trying to be in someone's face like this, these Medivac drops are really painful. He keeps on moving across. Actually, extended thermal lens is not done just yet. For Dick Boy DPG PartinG. Thank you very much for that, PartinG. Can't believe we still have that flat tag. Alright, so a couple of units do get force fielded away. At the same time, though, we do now have a drop once again in that mineral line. Looks like Terran may actually just try and make a beeline right here towards the third base because he's stuck over there. At the same time, PartinG actually now wants to commit to the base race. He's just trying to walk straight up that ramp, dealing so much damage right now with these Colossi, though. These Colossi just simply deal so much splash damage here to that Terran army. At the same time, the drop has arrived now in the main base after cleaning up the natural. Those units that were kind of stuck in the on the left-hand side of the map have now decided to counterattack towards the third base instead. PartinG trying to deal as much damage as possible, both players taking a tremendous amount of damage. He does manage to get a couple of those probes on out of there, but the main nexus is already gone. Third nexus is already gone as well. Still though, there's a lot of damage here that's being dealt on the other side of the map, right? These Colossi, so extremely helpful. When you're on top of like there's actually a lot of probes over here too, but when you're on top of the Terran production, that is exactly where Protoss is at its strongest, right? Like when you manage to shut down these units right as they come out of the structures, that's absolutely massive. That's exactly where you want to be. I don't think you're going to be able to achieve too much here. That Prism still available as well. Picks up the weakened Colossus. Excellent control here. Looks like the Prism, though, eventually will go down. But at the same time, we see all of those Terra units already picked up as well. Stalker's now blinking forward. Actually, the Prism still lives. It's got 4 health. It's got 4 health and it still lives. That's absolutely huge. The third base, though, still fooling mining. We have a Nexus now acquired in the top right-hand corner of the map. Kjær trying to get his army back together. But, I mean, does he have enough right now to kill this Protoss force? Especially with the Prism. Like, the Prism here is huge. Ooh, nice. A little bit of control there. Command center falls. But it looks like Kjær will find out about this Nexus here in the top right-hand corner in just a sec, too. That's actually really, really critical. Wouldn't be surprised here if Kjær decides to send some units in that direction in just a little bit. Kjær has still got the option right now to split up his structures and to split up his units, too. So SCVs right now are actually working on the Nexus. Are you kidding me? The workers are fighting the workers at the 13-minute mark. This is one of the final structures here of the Protoss. The Stalkers now made their way in this direction as well. At the same time, we have a couple of Marauders here. They're great at killing structures. Going to town inside of the old main base here of the Protoss. The Nexus does fall. At the same time, no, we do see the blink forward. Medivacs would just barely be able to zap away there. Right now, there's only 60 minerals remaining. There's not enough money here remaining for PartinG to rebuild a Nexus. Kjær does still have quite a bit of himself as well. He's actually building now a command center on the left-hand side of the map. This is not something that PartinG can see. And these Marauders, man, they are putting in the work. Right now, Kjær can see every single structure. He knows what he needs to kill in order to obtain the victory. Obviously, the main win condition in StarCraft 2 is killing your opponent's structures. Doesn't happen all too often. Once again, though, the units will just barely manage to get into that Medivac, and they are gonna continue working on all of these structures. There's not a lot of them remaining. Where are the Colossi? Okay, there they are. The Colossi are really, really important here. This is simply soften up this army so very much. These Medivacs, though, are really critical, too. Oh, here we go. Terran trying their very best to deal as much damage as possible, but it looks like PartinG will be able to intercept most of that army and keep these structures alive here for the time being. Now, this is huge right over here. There's a command center that's morphing into an orbital command. Not a lot of SCVs remain. Kjær is going to be forced to lift up. There's actually 0 workers now. Terran now has 0 workers. There's nothing. Look at that. It's 4 Medivacs and 9 Marauders in a dream. That's all he's got. A lot of workers remaining for PartinG, but they are mostly just right now here to soak a little bit of damage, if need be. Love the fact, actually, that PartinG decided to leave a couple of Stalkers behind, although I don't know if that's going to be enough against 9 Marauders. I guess you can intercept a lot of them as well, right? Actually, this command center is really critical. There is only one command center, and it's this one. If it burns, oh my god. Ooh, so close. So extremely close. Actually, the warp prism right now following it around. He knows that. No, there's no marine. There are no marines. You can follow it safely. There's no marines. Couple of marauders, though, came out right over here as well. Where's the command center? Okay, the command center is still flying. It's once again gonna land. That's a gamble, though. That's a massive gamble. If that command center burns, he won't be able to repair it because there are no SCVs, right? At the same time, though, we still have the stalkers and the prism trying their very best. Okay, he just got one pot shot off, and that's it. Stalker working on a couple of these structures. There's still a handful of structures right over here, though. Yeah, PartinG is actually now bringing back a bunch of his structures, too, or a bunch of his units, too, because he knows he needs to get rid of this army. If these structures die, that's gonna be it, right? That's gonna be it. There's one probe over here in the top right-hand corner, but it looks like, yeah, Protoss will just barely be able to intercept that one in time. Matter of fact, once again loads up. Oh my god, he does manage to blink down towards the low ground. And that's it, right? I mean, there's 5 marauders remaining. They're all without a medevac. He's gonna try and hide them right here on the right-hand side of the map. Command Center did finish up here, but Cure does not really have the minerals anymore. He's now down to 20 minerals. He's been remaking units instead, which in hindsight was probably not the best choice. PartinG leaving a prison, a sentry, and a Colossus behind while roaming the map with the other units. He's looking around the map right now, trying to figure out if there's anything else. He doesn't know where that command center is located, but now he will find out. That's huge. That is absolutely massive. It's just 4 marauders here for the Terran player, but no more income here for Cure, or for PartinG. Well, for either player really. If this command center burns, which it will right now, that means that Cure has no way of winning this game through macro anymore. The only thing they can do to win is kill this last warp gate. That is the last structure. There's one structure remaining right now for the Protoss, and it's that one. Although the marauders here get caught in the middle of the map, and that means that just one of them remains. It's trying its very best here against the Stalker, but that does mean it will be picked off, and while it takes a Stalker to the grave here as well, PartinG will find the last command center. And with that, since Terran can float all their structures, Mapu, our lovely observer, well, I mean, I'm observing this game, but Mapu was the observer for Home Story Cup 20, does already call it as the referee in this game. Indeed, this match does transition towards a draw. Now, there is a draw mechanic in StarCraft 2, for those of you unfamiliar. When something doesn't die for a couple of minutes, essentially a stalemate gets detected, and I think there's like a 5-minute timer or something like that that will start counting down. Eventually, the game would show us a draw screen as well. Even though it says right here that Cure has won, that was just because they didn't want to wait, you know, for absolutely no reason, an additional 10 minutes. But there we go. Cure and PartinG managed to get a draw for the very first time in a Terran versus Protoss since like 2014 or so? I don't even remember the last time I've seen a draw at the highest level of play in SC2 in a professional match. So sick. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. A special shout out to the Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much for the generosity. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you once again in the next one.